Hey there, Michelle McQuaid here from the Making Positive Psychology Work podcast, and I've just finished interviewing Neil Garrett, a neuroscientist from the University College of London, about how our brains respond to different kinds of information. And here was the aha moment that I took away from our conversation today. Now, Neil explained that most of us are hardwired with an optimism bias, and this means that we've got a tendency to pay more attention to good news and incorporate this into our understanding of the world around us, but when we're given bad news, we're more likely to discount or ignore its relevance to us. So, for example, if you were asked to estimate the likelihood of having a car accident in the future, and then you were given the good news that research suggests it's much lower than you expected, then you'll take this information on board and adjust your future estimates. But if you were given the bad news that research suggests it's much higher than you thought, then you're less likely to take this information on board and instead stick around your original estimates when asked in the future. As a result, Neil suggested that giving people positive information can tap into their optimism bias, making it more likely that they'll remember what's shared and feel motivated to act upon it. So, for example, when you give people feedback about their strengths and ways to build upon them, they're more likely to take this on board and to act accordingly in future because of their optimism bias than they are when you give them feedback about their weaknesses and how to fix them, which they're much more likely to ignore or discount. Now, that said, there is one very important exception when communicating positively may backfire on you. It seems that when we're feeling highly stressed, we're more likely to respond and be motivated by negative information. For example, in a recent study with firefighters in Colorado, Neil found that the more stressed they became as they responded to emergencies during their shifts, the more responsive they became to bad news, even about unrelated tasks. Now, this finding, along with other studies that Neil and his colleagues have run, have led them to believe that when our stress levels are really high, we're more likely to respond to negative information, whether it's related to what's causing our stress or not. So, what does all this mean for how we might communicate in workplaces? Now, Neil suggests that being mindful of how stressful your current work environment is may help you to couch your messages in ways that are going to get the most effective response and action from people. So, for example, in times of low stress, if you set realistic and achievable team goals, then you're much more likely to be able to provide regular positive feedback that's going to motivate your team, improve their performance and their productivity. However, if you're working in highly stressful circumstances, then your team may be more motivated by negative information. So, for example, if your organisation's facing an uncertain future, people may be more motivated by knowing that cutbacks are going to have to be put into place if sales targets aren't met. Now, want to know what else Neil has discovered about the risks of creating too much optimism in our workplaces? Head on over to michellmcquaid.com/iTunes and grab episode number 17 of Making Positive Psychology Work to find out. And I'll join you there. Until next time, take care.